Continuing in Allah Dalid, somebody made a mistake in the summer days. This is what happened. Bkites, instead of saying made it that totally said made it the geshem in the summer. If you remembered before you finished the bracha of Mahaya Mesim, you remember before he finished the bracha, Laata Giבור, he goes back to Laata Giבור. And this is not Idin of Chazara, because the whole idea here is he wants it to be nikkur, that he's not saying Meidid Ha Geshem, he's saying Meidid Atol, so he goes back to Mechalkal Chayim, and he says Meidid Atol, and continues Shemona Esrei. But if you remember after he said Baruch Atah Hashem Machaya Mesim, Chozeh the Reish Atfili has to go back to the beginning of Shemona Esrei. If he only said the words Mashiach Meruach not Meidid Geshem, so then he's not mazik to any yidin. So therefore he says he can continue with Mechalkal Chayim, because the whole idea of saying Meidid Geshem could be mazik to Yidden, because Yidden were still being oida to Eretz Yisrael. So if he only said the words Mashiach Meruach and Meidid Geshem, he could continue Shemona Esrei. If he made a mistake by Maidim or Ishach Shashmini Atzeres, he doesn't have to go back to the beginning of Shemona Esrei. Halacha Hey. You start saying Talamatar by Maidiv on the 6th day in the Tkufa, which is after Tishrei. It's not necessary. This goes dafka after the Geisha calendar, the Yom HaTkufa, the Yom HaSha'ila B'chlal HaShishi, V'hu B'yom Revi, B'yom Chamishi, the Achshav Chamisha Shishi, the Chodesh December, V'imrim the Pesach, B'tistra Mashir, the Mishael, B'leil Zayin, the Marcheshvan. In the calendar, it's dafka on the 6th day of December, like the Alter Rebbe says, it's dafka on the 6th day of December, and in Eretz Yisrael, it goes after the idea of Zayin Cheshvan until the Yidden were finished in Eilo Regel, Eretz Yisrael. Halacha Hey. If somebody made a mistake and he didn't say Talamatar, if he remembered before he finished the bracha, so if you remember before he finished the bracha of Mevarech Hashanim, he says it over there, saying Talamatar, the bracha, Apne Adamo, Eino, and he continues the bracha, Mechaisim, Kuroi. Nizkar Laachre Shechasam Abrachim, Mispal Alon, Das Rabbeinu, Nizkar Kodim Shehizot, Gam Shefer, Emersham, according to Shulchan Aruch, if you already finished the bracha of Berachas Hashanim, he should continue in Tkab Shefer. The Alter Rebbe says you could say it before Tkab Shefer if he didn't start the next bracha. Or he could continue according to the Shulchan Aruch and the Alter Rebbe. They don't argue in this. He could say it in the middle of Shema Kileinu Acher Reikum Alta Shivenu before Kiyata Shmeya. So Reikum Alta Shivenu Eimer is saying Talam Alta Bracha Kiyata Shmeya Chulu Afilu Imay Nizkar Ozrak Achei Rishama Baruch Ato, and even in the Bracha Shema Kileinu, if he just said the words Baruch Ato, Kos Lo Yomar Adayin Es Hashem Yachol Eimer is saying Talam Alta Bracha Kiyata Shmeya, and finish off the bracha. Avodim le'nizkar ad la'achar sheshim. Bracha shema tefillah. Chizir amatzkel baruch aleinu chulu. According to the Shulchan Aruch, if you finish the bracha of shema tefillah, he has to go back to baruch aleinu. Das rabbeinu nizkar kodim sheyitzchel eretzei. Eimer v'sein talamot achakach matzchel eretzei. According to the Alter Rebbe, if he didn't start eretzei, you could say it over there. The same thing would be by the actual bracha of Berachas Hashanim. If he didn't start the Kabbalah Shefer, you should say it right after the bracha. So the same thing here is by Shema Kileinu. And if he didn't remember until after the pasuk of Yudaratzin, then he has to go back to the beginning of Shemona Esrei. So we give him a chance to say it Kozman. He didn't say Yudaratzin. Bkiץ, if somebody made a mistake in the summer, and he said Talamatar, he has to go back to the beginning of the bracha of Baruch Aleinu. And the Alter Rebbe says if he didn't remember until he said the second Yularotzen, which is in the end of the kind of tzad, if he didn't remember Kol Zman, he finished the second Yularotzen, then he has to go back to the beginning of Shemona Esrei. If he made a mistake in the summer by saying Talmud. If somebody has a suffix, if he said Mashim Roch Im Lacher Shloishim Yom Shekvar Ispaut Tishim Shom Karoi Das Rabbeinu Mochach Shetoli B'Shloishim Yom Loi B'Tishim Tilo Is Lachei and Afilu Im Loi Ispaut Klal Yom Yimayim Loi Huda Cheskosi Buzeh. According to the Alter Rebbe, it's dafka after 30 days. According to Shulchan Aruch, it's dafka 90 tefillos. So according to the Alter Rebbe, it comes out if a person didn't daven, or there was an oinus, or there was another story, or I don't know, there wasn't exactly, if Shadi is to daven 90 tefillos, according to the Alter Rebbe, it's dafka after 30 days. According to Shulchan Aruch, it's dafka 90 tefillos. If he has a suffix, if he said Mashu Roch Eloi, so it depends if it's in the 30 days or the 90 tefillos. Depends if it's Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch, he has to go back. If it's after that, then he doesn't have to go back if he's mistapik in this that he said Mashviruch or not. If it's in this manner of the 90 tefillos or the 30 days, he's still used to making the mistake or davening the way he's davening. So then that's the whole thing according to Chacham. If we're mesupik or not depends on this idea of 90 tefillos or 30 days. The same din would be by Talamata and Mashim Ruach. Im mistapik le laachar shekvar isbal tishim tefillos karoi. This is dafke if we're mesupik if you daven 90 tefillos or 30 days. If it's in the 30 days, he has to go back. If it's after, he doesn't. So that's dafka by Talmud and Mashvi Pesach. Somebody made a mistake on the first night of Pesach. He's spalled to the Shemona Esrei. What happened? He's used to davening a regular Chol Shemona Esrei, and he made a mistake. He continued davening a Chol Shemona Esrei on Pesach night, and he only remembered after he started the bracha of Bari Chalenu. So he should finish the bracha, but he should not say. We're going to see inside. Look what it says over here. He has to finish the whole bracha, like it's brought down in סימן and Vav. Eino, but the words Talmud he should not say. Because the minion also doesn't say it. And if it happens to be that it falls out also it's on Shabbos, so what happens on Shabbos he started davening the tefillah of Chayil, so also in Shabbos you don't say this, you don't say it because the minion doesn't say it on Shabbos, and you only remember once he started the bracha of Barichas Hashanim. You also shouldn't say Talmud on Shabbos because we don't say it. The minion doesn't say it. The Yochid goes after the Tzibur, and because the Tzibur doesn't say it, they didn't start saying it. That's why the person doesn't say it either. If somebody made a mistake and he didn't say by Shachris or Mincha or Cholamoyid, by Shachris and Mincha or Ma'ariv, so by you have to be mechalik. There's Rosh Chodesh is Dafka Shachris Mincha. By Cholamoyid it's Shachris Mincha and Ma'ariv. Cholamoyid is different than Rosh Hashanah, than Rosh Chodesh Dafka by the idea of Yalav Yovi. Even Nizkar if you remember the Kol Zman, he didn't say Yularotzen. And the feed out to the Klal is the second Yularotzen. You have to Chayz there and Maskal the Tzei, you should go back to the Tzei. If he still didn't say Yularotzen, you could go back to the Brach with the Tzei and say Yalav Yovi. And even if he remembered after he already started saying Moedim, according to Shulchan Aruch, you have to go back to the Tzei if you started Moedim. According to Laata Rebbe, if he started the Tzei and he said the bracha, he could say it right then and there. You could say it right then and there, and then say moedim. According to Shulchan Aruch, you should go back to the beginning of the bracha of Ritzei. Nizkar But if he remembered before he says it where he is, and then he continues, and if he only remembered after he said he has to go back to the beginning of Shemaina Esrei. Reish Chodesh, in Shachach Yalav Yovei b'Ma'ariv, bein b'Reish Chodesh hu Shnei Yom Oy she'ein Yeli Yimechol Kivan she'Omar Baruch At Hashem והזכיר as Hashem שווי נכריז על אדם מסיים המעש שנעש לציין וגם את תלוסי והטעם לזה מפני שלא יהיו מקדשים as החדר בלילה. If somebody's on Reish Chodesh, it doesn't make a difference if it's one night or 2 nights. If he said Baruch Atah Hashem, he started the bracha of Ma'aser Shchanas L'Tzion, he does not go back to the Tzei or the beginning or anywhere, he just continues Shemona Esrei, Dafke at nighttime, because in the Beis Hamikdash they were Makadosh Shechedesh at the nighttime, and where davening is connected this that they did in the Beis Hamikdash, he doesn't have to go back. If he made a mistake, it's Dafke, Shachris Mincha, by Musaf, or on the Cholamoyed. It's included in the Ma'ariv. We're speaking specifically about Yalav Yovei, and he could say it calls man. He didn't do Yul Ratzin. If he said the bracha of Ma'aser Shchanas L'Tzion, so then he goes back to Moedim. If it's before Masech Eino, he should say it then and there. And again, if he finished, he started Moedim, he should say it before. He could say it calls man. He didn't say Yul Ratzin, which means he goes back to the bracha of the Tzei. Shachach v'reish chodesh ay b'chol hamoed. Fine. Somebody made a mistake b'reish chodesh or chol hamoed ya'alav v'yovi b'shachris. In the morning by shachris, he didn't say ya'alav v'yovi on reish chodesh. Afal pi shalei nizkar lacher she'is ba'al musa shekvar nizkar shel reish chodesh shel reish chodesh shel chol hamoed v'chol hamoed v'chol hamoed v'chol hamoed. According to the Shulchan Aruch, if somebody remembered after Mosif of Chol Hamoed or Reish Chodesh, he has to go back and continue and chazer over the Shmoina Esrei of Shachris. If he didn't mention Yalav Yovei by Shachris, according to Latta, you don't have to because Mosif included in it, and you're mentioning it Memele Reish Chodesh. So if you daven Mosif according to Latta, and you remembered after you daven Mosif that you didn't say Yalav Yovei of Shachris, you don't have to go back, whether it's Reish Chodesh or whether it's Chol Hamoed. And if he passed the time and he didn't mention the Yalav Yovei, he can be marshal by Mincha according to Shulchan Aruch. According to Alter Rebbe, it's good enough. And this that he mentioned it by Musaf. The Kamon, he brings down Ayin Mishari Tshuva Siman Kuf Ches Arn Siv Kuf Siv Cotton Beis Lekamon Siman Chof Aleph Siv Dalid V'ayin Lekamon Siman Chof Siv Yud Loch Yud Beis Chomagim Shu Tzorich Lachtor L'Spal. Any time that a person has to go back and daven the Shemona Esrei, which means he has to make up a second Shemona Esrei, Tzorich Lamkim Gidei Hiduch Arba Amish. Before he starts his second Shemona Esrei that he has to chazer over, or something that he missed, or if something he made a mistake, whatever it is. We're talking about somebody over here that's davening 2 Shemona Esreis. He has to wait Dalet Amis, the time it would take him to go Dalet Amis, and the Alter Rebbe says even if he's standing right now, and I'm going to daven in this place where I'm standing right now, where I made Shalim, so even there you have to wait Dalet Amis. There's the idea of preparing yourself to daven Shemona Esrei, which means I made Shalim, I'm going to daven where I'm standing right now. You still have to wait as if you'd go shir of Dalet Amis. Even if I'm going to chazer over my Shemona Esrei, the place where I'm standing right now, Eino if a chazer made a mistake in his tefillah balachash, the chazaras hashatz that he makes is considered enough. He doesn't have to go back to the beginning of Shemona Esrei or do Eisher Shalom and daven again Shemona Esrei, and then again a Chazaras Hashatz out loud. The Chazaras Hashatz is considered a Chazara for him if he made a mistake in his Shemona Esrei. For example, if he missed the Alav Yovei and he forgot totally, so he should continue, and his Chazaras Hashatz is considered enough. It's good enough because the Tircha de Tzibura, but he has to make sure that when he does the Chazaras Hashatz, he says it like kind of tzod. He finishes it off like a regular Shemona Esrei, and he does Eisher Shalom and everything. However, if he made a mistake, in the first 3 brachos, and he could go back to the beginning of the first 3 brachos, and no one would know, and it's not Tircha de Tzibura, so then he should do that. This idea that he could go back to the beginning of the first 3 brachos if there's not Tircha de Tzibura and continue davening Shemona Esrei. Doesn't make a difference if it's the Tainis Yochid or Tainis Tzibur. There's idea that he should say Aneinu. Oimdim Tilas Mincha, Tilas Makilenu, Aneinu, and Shmakilenu Mincha of the Chazan, or if the person is davening B'Yechidus or whatever it is. There's this idea of a person saying Aneinu by Shmakilenu, Shmagil V'Chodeis Tzara V'Tzukah in Aneinu. When he comes to the word V'Chodeis Tzara V'Tzukah, he should finish off Kiata Shmea Im Shachach Madoimar Aneinu, and if he forgot to say Aneinu, even though Nizkar ad lacher shamares Hashem v'chas Shema Kedenu, if he already started Baruch Atah Hashem Shema Shemei Tefillah, so he doesn't go back to Aneinu. So he says over here, after he finishes the whole tefillah, before he does Eisher Shalom, you could say it over there. Before, this is right after Sim Shalom, before Yularatz, he should say it then and there. He should say Aneinu. He should say the Aneinu till the words Ad Eis Ratzin, Ad Eis Tzara V'Tzukah. In Shmakalenu, he finishes off Kiata Shmea. Over here, in a situation where he forgot and he continued davening, he continues Yularotzin. And if you remembered after he made a Shishalom, he doesn't have to go back, he doesn't have to say it, and it is fine. Adkan Allah Adkan B'chlal Allah Yudal, the Siman Yudtes. It is Messiah now.